Welcome to a new episode of The Broker's Brew on the Marketing Mortgage Podcast. If you haven't heard one of these before, it's a new format that I'm trying out on our podcast. And what it is, I've got my brew in hand here. I'm recording this on Instagram live as well, so they'll see my brew on there. And I'm going to try and impart a bit of wisdom that has been imparted on me from other mortgage advisors, or some like tips, strategies and hacks around social media. So I'm going to do it all in the time it takes me to drink a brew. So this episode is going to be around the top 5 things that I see mortgage brokers do really well. And it's what helps them build a business. So I've spoken to hundreds of mortgage advisors over the last 4 years since we've been set up. And these are the 5 most common traits I see in all of the successful ones. And the reason I decided to do this episode is when I spoke to somebody on a call the other day, they said how useful they found it on the podcast when we interviewed some of these top mortgage advisors, because they found out they had similar struggles. They wanted to find out how to be a successful one. So although the interviews are great, what I've tried to do is kind of compress all of that information into this episode. So I'm going to talk about the 5 most common traits that I see in the most successful mortgage advisors, and I'm going to compress them down for you, the listeners. So I've picked up loads of golden nuggets along the way of interviewing all these mortgage brokers, and what I've found is it's not to do with mainly about running the business, which you have to do day to day, and I'm not going to talk about running a mortgage broker business because I don't know how to do that. But these 5 things that I'm going to cover today are things that you can do outside of doing appointments to help you generate more appointments. Now, the one thing I have learned when speaking to mortgage advisors, not everybody wants this huge team. They don't want to be hiring 10, 15, 20 brokers. And that's fine, but you can still follow these 5 points I'm about to chat through to help make your business more efficient. So it requires less time and effort from you, so you can do the things that you want to do. So if that's doing mortgage appointments, spending more time with the family, then these strategies are for you. So we're going to go backwards. We're going to do a bit of a game show vibe. Let me have another sip of this brew. So number 5, one of the most successful common traits I've seen is to have a supportive admin who can take stuff off your plate as a mortgage advisor. Okay. Speaking to a lot of mortgage advisors on these podcasts, they were never sure whether to hire another mortgage advisor that they can pass their leads off to, or hire an admin staff first. Now, the majority of the more successful ones I see is they hire a really good admin staff to start with. Okay. If it's somebody that's got previous experience, so they don't spend as much time training up that person, then obviously that's a massive bonus. But that admin can take a lot off your day-to-day tasks, like answering the phone, managing your inbox, or listening to this podcast, helping you with social media. That admin person might have more design, creative, social media skills than you as a mortgage advisor. So it's better for them to look after your social media than you. Anything that they take off these successful mortgage advisors' plates means that mortgage advisor can do more appointments or convert those leads into business. Okay. Number 4 is how they build relationships with people in their local area. Okay. So I'm talking about a mortgage broker not only sponsoring like local football teams, rugby teams, or I heard somebody like sponsor a local PTA so they can get in with the parents. The really successful ones, they don't just sponsor them, let them have the logo on the front of the shirt and leave them to it. What they'll do is they'll then go to those games. They might have photos with the managers, photos with the teams. So with kids' teams, you have to be a bit careful with photos on social media. But they'll liaise with all of the people that are involved with that club. Okay. What happens then is, yes, the sponsorship increases brand awareness, but they also open the door to lots of conversations to either the football players, if they're of a mortgage age. If it's a kids team, they're speaking to the parents, they're getting to know the manager, the coach. Are there any events that they're holding where they can have a table or a space? So all of these things you need to think about not only sponsoring the team, but getting involved with the team locally as well. Okay, so think about how you can do that. Don't just throw money at a sponsorship if you think that having your logo on the front of a shirt is going to bring you mortgage business. What the really successful advisors do that I've seen is they'll get involved with that particular team. Okay. Once they've then built those relationships in person, they'll then take that relationship online and they'll shout about that community thing that they are doing. So if they sponsored a local team, they'll put out posts saying they've sponsored them, but also tag them in the post as well. So then what happens is that company will then share that post onto their social channels as well. So you're hitting two audiences at once. So again, the clever mortgage advisors not only just sponsor a local football team, for example, they'll make relationships with the parents, okay, or the players or the coaches or the staff, and then they'll carry that on onto social media as well. So they're expanding their reach of their company. It's not just on the front of the shirts. Okay. Coming in at 3, so it's like a bit of a game show. Once they've built all of these relationships online and in person, what they will then do, these successful mortgage brokers, is they'll spend every day some kind of time engaging with their audience. That might be 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. They will sit there of an evening or in the morning and engage with their audience. Okay. I know successful mortgage advisors that will personally wish people in their audience a happy birthday on social media. Okay. They'll share social media posts from other local businesses in the hope, yes, you're doing the good job for the community because you're helping your audience learn about other businesses. But in time, those businesses will share your posts as well. And you can start doing collaborative posts, especially on Instagram. But you could do collaborative Instagram Live. So as I record this, I'm doing this on Instagram Live as well. So it'd be great if you could do this with a local coffee shop, a local estate agent, a local accountant, a local solicitors. So what they will do is engage with those local businesses in that way. They'll also engage in the comments of the other businesses page. Okay, so they're not selfish in the fact where they want all the engagement on their pages. What they will then do is go and find the local coffee shop on social media and they will go and drop a comment in their content. Okay, it's doing two things really. The first thing is it's showing support for the local business, but the second thing is putting your name in front of that business's audience. So again, you're increasing the chance of that page getting followers. Okay. What you'll notice is once they've built their relationship, they don't leave it to chance. They'll follow up with engagement on social media and they'll keep their business front of mind with both their followers and their local community. And that's why it's so important, especially when you're starting out, to really spend a lot of time engaging on social media, not just with your audience, but with other audiences and other pages in your local area. Okay. I like this countdown from 5 to 1 because it gives me more time to drink tea. So, number 2, another one of the successful traits that I see in mortgage brokers that are succeeding is they like to get their team involved in their marketing. Okay. So, online or in emails, they'll shout about the success of somebody in their team. They might get somebody in their team to create a social media post because remember, the team, especially admin staff, they are the ones that are speaking to people at the first point of contact when they're booking an appointment. So they can do posts around questions that these people are asking them. So they're a great source of information for posts. So always ask your admin team to start doing posts for you. Or it might simply be doing a post about their birthday or their anniversary. That's a way that they can get their audience to start knowing their team. So when somebody picks up a phone to them to book in their protection appointment or their mortgage appointment, they're not really caught off guard. They might have seen that person on social media before. Okay. These successful mortgage advisors realize by allowing their team to also be the face of their business, it will help reach a wider audience and allow their team to feel invested in the growth of the company. For example, if you did a good news story for Mary Smith, who works for you, about how quickly they got a mortgage case through, Mary Smith is quite very likely to share that to her social media channels as well, whether it be her Facebook page or her Instagram story. Now, if that good news story is branded up, then when they share it to their audience, your company name is then being put in front of all of Mary Smith's audience as well. So, yes, you're giving your team member a pat on the back, but it's also helping from a marketing point of view. So, remember, it doesn't always have to be your face on social media. Some of the most successful mortgage brokers pull in their team into their marketing, either to do it themselves or to shout about the team to increase the reach. Okay? Have a sip of my brew again. Then in at number one, and this is the biggest one that I see that some of the most successful mortgage brokers do, and this is they outsource a lot of their tasks. Okay. They pick the one thing that they love doing, which is normally mortgage appointments because they have a passion for that, and they'll outsource the rest. Okay. For example, some of the most successful mortgage advisors I know aren't very good at the paperwork or the admin side or don't enjoy it. Therefore, they either outsource this to one of the external, like personal assistants that you can get, and obviously lots of them on LinkedIn, or they outsource it to a member of staff within their admin team in the company. Okay. It may be the same for protection as well. The most successful brokers just stick to one particular thing. They might just love selling mortgages, but maybe don't enjoy or not so confident in selling protection. So they outsource this to an external company or a protection specialist within their company. And then the big thing that they outsource, which we see a lot of in the bigger companies, the ones that I've seen have really succeeded over the last few years, is they outsource a lot of their marketing. Okay. It can take up a lot of time for mortgage advisors. Normally, they don't have the time or the headspace to think creatively about how to run their social media channels. So the successful ones I see will outsource this to another company to help them free up more time to do appointments or to work on the business. It's not just social media they outsource for. It could be Google Ads, creating content like writing blog content, writing content for email marketing. They'll always have somebody else look after it for you. So if you feel like you're sat there drowning in doing your marketing, look at some of the companies that are out there that can help you. Obviously, we can help with social media, but there's lots of other companies out there that can help you with Google Ads, writing blog content, kind of keeping your website up to date. There's loads of companies out there, so they can take that off your hands to stop you drowning. Appreciate you might say, look, you might not have the budget for that at that time, but what these successful mortgage advisors do is outsource first to free them up time, and then with that time they can do more appointments. So those are the 5 things that I've seen from really successful mortgage brokers and things that they've been doing over the last 4 years since I've been chatting to them. They've built hugely successful businesses. When I say successful businesses, I don't just mean sizes. I mean companies that run so slick that it's just them doing appointments and an admin that steps in to help them. But if there are any that I've missed, then please let me know. And if you haven't already, if I could ask a massive favour, please, if you haven't given us a 5-star review on our podcast or just a review saying how valuable you find the podcast, it would really help. And if you haven't signed up to our email marketing list yet, then make sure you do. Go to socialforbrokers.com/blog and you can sign up. Every Wednesday we send out loads of social media tips, hacks, strategies, and keep you up to date with what's going on in the social media world for mortgage advisors. But until the next episode of Brokers Brew, I will speak to you soon. Cheers.